Hello, this is Chris of Magoosh, and today we are going to talk specifically about the issue on the GRE AWA section. We're going to talk about this in the context of scores, like what's a 4 score? What's a GRE writing score 4? What's a GRE writing score 6? What are we trying to do? How do we get over the 4 hump, which is difficult because at that point the GRE writing score percentiles go up. And so I want to not just give you this overview like, oh, you need to write a clear thesis. Okay, that's kind of helpful, but I want to actually show you and discuss some examples today to give you a better idea of what you need to do to boost your GRE writing score and get that GRE writing score percentile that will get you into the program, or at least help you get into the program that you're looking at. So in this first example, we have here as our first thesis, technology makes us mindless and lazy, and so is surely deteriorating our ability to think. Now, does that sound one-sided and extreme and simplistic? Well, let's take another look at it. It is surely deteriorating our ability to think, makes us mindless. That is very stark. There is no nuance there. There's no complexity or, this is actually a complex issue. You want to, of course, address that subtly in your thesis. So that one gets that. Next one. Technology has given us the iPhone and other powerful tools to make it so we can think better than ever before. Okay, again, a lot of strong language. And again, this is an academic kind of essay. You want to show that you can think in a nuanced fashion. To say that, again, rereading this, technology has given us the iPhone, powerful tools, think better than ever before. I mean, I feel like I'm listening to a commercial for technology and I guess the iPhone. That's not what the GRE is looking for. Let's take a look at the third one. While technology has given us powerful instruments to perform mundane cognitive tasks, far from deteriorating our ability to think, this change has given us more time to focus our intelligence on complex problems. Okay, so that feels like it's showing the other side. Notice how it starts with while. It has given us powerful instruments, it's helped us think better on certain tasks. It is definitely giving us more time. It's helping us think better than we've ever had before. But I don't even think that they use that language than we've ever had before. Let's take a look again. This change has given us more time to focus our intelligence on complex problems. Oh, okay, I like that. It's not just saying, okay, well, now that the iPhone can, take care of like all my lunch schedule and daily schedule things, I will be smarter than ever before. And that's kind of the extreme language you want to avoid. So again, be clear in your thesis, but don't be extreme. Next up, we have the body paragraph. So again, in the body paragraph, what you want to do is you want to take concrete examples to back up your points. But you don't want to just list a bunch of examples, like 6 or 7 things. Technology is great because it helps us do this, and this. That's not a body paragraph. You want to make a general point. Then you want to back up that point with a concrete example, or maybe 2. And you might even want to slightly develop that example and show how it ties back to that main point. Let's take a look at a couple of examples. At one time, we had to memorize phone numbers or write them down or we'd forget them. Let's stop right there. Is that a good topic sentence? Is that a good way to begin an essay? Nah, I did not think so. Why? Well, they kind of dove right into the example. We want to actually start with a general idea that technology gives us more time to think about the important things because it does the basic things for us. And then you could say that at one time we had to memorize phone numbers and write them down, and now we have an iPhone to do this for us so we don't spend time doing that. But that body paragraph just kind of dove straight in. Let's keep reading. But now we don't need to do that because our phones can do everything. Really? Our phones can do everything? Fly me to Mars, iPhone. That was weird. So, that's also a bit extreme. Let's keep reading this example though. Also, our computers can allow us to do many of these tasks. For instance, On Google Calendar, your entire day, week, month, and even year are stored, so we don't even have to think about these. Okay, they're dropping examples, but they're not really developing them. They're tied loosely to a point that came before it, and the points are kind of redundant. If we look back there, it says computers can allow us to do many of these tasks. And then it says phones can do everything. It's just repeating itself. It isn't driving at a main point. It's lacking that logical cohesion. And this is the kind of thing that's not going to get you even a 4 usually. If you're just jumping around from ideas to ideas, that's not structured, and you want to avoid that. Okay, let's take a look at the next body paragraph. Even just a few decades ago, we were forced to spend much of our waking day mentally juggling tasks that today we can entrust to our smartphones. From hundreds of phone numbers to our most sensitive financial information. Okay, so it started off with a general idea that there's been a shift. Before, we had to juggle our financial sensitive information. We had to juggle our daily appointments. We had to juggle all these tasks, phone numbers, memorizing them. But now the iPhone can do this for us, or the smartphone it uses here. So it starts off with that main idea. Now, it isn't like a 5 or 6 essay just because it said that, but let's see how it develops. Next sentence. Today, that time can be redirected into activities that require complex thought, something that the smartest of smartphones can't do. Ooh, I like that smartest of smartphones things. Now, little touches like that are cute. Maybe they'll help you, but really what's going to help you is making sure that your sentences flow together logically and develop or grow or build upon the previous sentence in your body paragraph. Is that happening here? Well, the first one was about this change, this shift in how we can have our daily or our handheld devices do these things for us. And the next shift is to show us, well, what are we going to do with this extra time? Oh, it can be used to do things not even smartphone can do. Let's read the next sentence. For example, a novelist today has more time to focus on the demanding task of creating a compelling story. That is a specific example. I like that, not just because they said, for example, a novelist has to write a story. Okay, so a firefighter has to fight fires. What does that mean? But they actually tie it together by saying that the novelist can focus more of their time on actually creating or writing that story. That's, of course, something not the smartest of smartphones can do, or at least not yet, right? Technology is taking over the world. Okay, this is shaping up to be a pretty good body paragraph. Let's keep reading. A scientist researching stem cells would be able to dedicate most of their waking hours to complex thinking. So, again, another example. You don't need to heap on more than that. Maybe it would have been fine with just a novelist, but at least it's giving us some range here, showing that a scientist does things that are specific, that require complex thinking, that an iPhone or any smartphone can't do alone. And reading on. To be sure, both these examples include collaboration between mind and machine. Let's stop right there. That was pretty smooth. What did they do? To be sure, they're offering what we call kind of a concession point or a qualification. They're not saying my statement is 100% correct. Novelists don't need smartphones. Scientists don't need smartphones. They're not saying that. They're saying, sure, I get it. Both the novelist and the scientist are obviously going to be using technology at some point to help them. Okay, that's what that concession point's doing. Let's keep on reading. The novelist types and edits far more efficiently on a computer than by hand, and the scientist would need computers to sequence a genome. Now, I'll be honest, this paragraph is really well written so far. That didn't feel to me that eloquent and that great, but you know what? It doesn't matter. The GRE isn't going to necessarily knock you down just because not every sentence sounds great. They know there's a time limit, and so that was good enough. The whole thing is, does it logically cohere? The answer is it does. It does flow together pretty well because it's building off of that concession point saying, well, you know, they both use technology. They could have probably phrased it a little bit better, but let's keep on reading. But this speaks to a collaboration between machine and mind, not one where the machine does all the thinking while the human mind deteriorates. I like that as an ending. It goes back to the idea of the mind deteriorating. That's obviously not happening with the novelist or the scientist today. In fact, they're probably honing their thinking skills on these complex tasks. Now, maybe the body paragraph would have been a little bit better because of that. But we're not here to get the perfect 6 necessarily. We're trying to really aim for that writing score of a 4 and a 5 if you want to get comfortable. But even if you don't hit a 5, that's fine with many programs. But if you could solidly hit a 4 each time, then that's all you'll need. And as for the 6, hey, if you can get it, that's great. But that's really not going to make that much of a difference as far as getting your admissions, or as far as admissions goes. Okay, let's take a look at the third body paragraph. There are many tasks that technology makes easier for us. Okay, I like that. It's a general topic sentence. Let's keep going. We can listen to podcasts while we drive, and this makes us smarter. Okay, you're not necessarily supposed to knock things down for not being necessarily accurate. And I don't know if that's inaccurate. I mean, I think podcasts can certainly make you smarter. It just seemed very 100% correct. Listen to podcasts if you want to become smarter. But moving on, I might be being a little picky. Also, there are many reasons why technology makes us smarter. Kind of just jumped from podcast saying that podcasts will make us smarter while we drive, to there are many reasons technology will make us smarter. It kind of just repeats itself. Why didn't you build off the podcast example, or maybe even mention another example? Again, your topic sentence was there are many tasks that technology makes easier for us. So build off of that. Don't just jump back to saying that there are many reasons technology makes us smarter after you've already given an example. Let's keep reading though. With Google, we can look up anything or look anything up. Okay, sure. But why? Remember that one example, the novelist, they really tied it together nicely, and the scientist with the stem cells. Why or how that backs up their point. Here they're just kind of just dropping examples. Not very impressive, not the kind of critical thinking that we want to see on the AWA. Next up, and the internet has made us much smarter because we don't have to learn an entire subject. We can just look it up. Ugh, I'm starting to cringe. Why? Because this person is just repeating what they're saying. They're not really going anywhere. They're just trying to get words on paper. And this feels like a solid 3 in the making. We don't want to write like this. Okay, next up here. This doesn't make us less smart because we can focus on other things. And then it just stops there. So this is an example. I feel pretty confident in saying this is an example of like a 3, maybe even a 2.5. I don't know. But the point is you don't want to write like this. You, again, want to have that nice clarity at the beginning of what you're trying to argue by introducing a general topic sentence in that body paragraph, and then developing on that idea, tying it back, of course, to your original thesis, and then developing that or making it more compelling by offering solid, concrete examples and elaborating a little bit on why you chose them. Don't just say, oh, in Google, we can look stuff up on Google. What about, today we can look up information on Google. In fact, we can find many things. True, Google doesn't do all the thinking for us. We have to figure out which information is important, which information we can trust, and then we also have to repurpose it for whatever we're doing, whether it's writing a research paper or coming up with a new company idea, whatever it might be. But the idea is that there has to be some connection. You have to kind of bring home the example. Don't just drop names or examples. So there you have it. That's the AWA section. Essentially, you want to come up with a clear thesis position and then body paragraphs that clearly support this thesis position with these clear examples. And then, of course, the important thing is make sure these clear examples are actually well developed. You're not just repeating your thesis statement. And when I say well developed, there's also this logical flow between sentences. That's really going to help your score on test day. Technology is only making us more intelligent. Oh my God. Hold on. Ah, too much screen time. My brain is imploding. I love technology. It is making me so smart. Hello. Technology will make us more intelligent than we've ever been before. Someone help me. All the screen time is making my brain implode.